If anybody is using either Spotify or Apple Music, they're all there under Autism Informed Mindfulness or Mindful Parents under Sue Hutton Mindfulness. So a lot of these exercises are up there, the guided meditations. And I'm not sure what other resources we have to that we're going to be distributing to people, but maybe Bree can clarify which resources we're able to send out. And maybe some of you might like this so much you want to do one of our 6-week programs. The 6-week programs are neat because we all see each other, right? And we stick together kind of as a community practicing for the whole 6 weeks. And there's so many, this is a big community. There's 46 of us doing this together right now, which is great. So, all right, so we're going to do a couple more little practices as a review from last week. So,
one more thing, Sue, I can't remember if you said this right at the start, but I'm drinking a glass of water because drinking is important and because sometimes I forget. So mindfulness is about being aware about how you're feeling in your body. So it's important that you feel warm, that you're sitting somewhere comfortable, that if you need a snack or a drink, that don't be afraid to go. You won't miss anything. We don't move that quickly here. So if you need something to make your body comfortable, make sure you get it. So you might notice that I'm going to even be eating a little bit if I turn off my camera, just because I didn't have my lunch before. And I think it's really important that we not forget to eat. So
that is so great, Yona. I love it. And actually, it's really neat that Yona does bring that up, of course. And this, the key principle of all these practices is being kind to ourselves, right? Especially at a time like this, just doing any extra things that we can to really nurture ourselves and take care of ourselves is so important. And I thought about doing an eating meditation. We begin our programs with an eating meditation, but maybe, oh, Yona's going to be doing an eating meditation. Maybe next, no, but maybe next week. If any of you are going to return next week, it would be neat to introduce an eating meditation and even some mindful drawing because we have an art exercise that we do that people really like. But the reason I didn't introduce them this week is because you just have to make sure you have paper and a marker and something to eat for the eating exercise. But Yona brings up a really good point that mindfulness is about paying attention to our bodies, wiring our brains to be in the present moment through feeling the breath, feeling the body, and also daily activities like eating, right? So we can turn parts of our lives into meditations where we are actually rewiring our brain during our daily activities. And that's one of the things that we do in the 6 weeks is we ask people to choose a mindful routine, something they do every day, like brushing your teeth. In a recent group, Lee Steele, our lovely parent advisor, said she was going to be putting foot cream on her feet and taking care of her feet as her daily meditation. And I think most of the group decided to do that. So we were all putting foot cream on and turning that into a meditation where we smell the cream and feel the sensations that come with smelling that, and then putting it on our feet and feeling all those sensations of nurturing and massaging our feet, right?
So I was going to say, the other thing, Sue, for now is really my hands are getting a bit dry because of all the hand washing, right? So actually, even if you just remember to either mindfully wash your hands, notice what you're doing, or if you have a hand cream to help your skin, to really mindfully nurture yourself while you put the hand cream on is a good one too.
I love that one. I absolutely love that. And actually, Bree's activity for one of our current groups is washing her hands because we have to choose an activity and stick to it. And I like that Yona brought that up because hand cream, it's a really great activity, not just during what we're going through right now with COVID-19 and social distancing, but it can be a fantastic concrete way to calm ourselves down when we're out in the community because you can have a hand cream. So many environments are scent free, and we have to be careful about that. But there's one woman who did one of our programs. who loved lavender, and so she had a lovely lavender hand cream. So her daily meditation was pulling out her little hand cream that she had in her purse. So if she was feeling anxious, she would pull it out and put a little bit in her hand, and she would smell it and do a nice deep breath when she smelled it, and then feel the sensations of taking care of herself and nurturing her hands and feeling all those direct sensations, right? So it can be something that you carry with you. Lee Steele, who I think is here now, our parent advisor, always says, I love the portability, or in other words, the fact that mindfulness is something that we have with us everywhere we go, right? So yeah, lots of neat tips and tricks. And yes, I think it's Shala. I see your question there. These meetings run every Monday, 2 to 3. Yeah. Do you want to answer that, Yona? Sorry, you're
That's what
eating.
we're, no, it's okay. We said we'd try this for 4 sessions, and if people like it, we're happy to go into next month and schedule them then as well. So 2 to 3, you're not alone. If you like these activities, we're happy to take some time to be with each other and to be present.
Oh, and of course, Bree already answered you. Bree's so on it. Okay. Thanks, Bree, and thanks, Yona, and thanks, Shala, for your question. Okay, so let's do a couple more of the concrete tools that we did last week. So if you did them last week, I ask you to imagine that you're starting over. We talk about this idea of beginner's mind. Beginner's mind is a common concept in mindfulness, meaning you just come to something, even if you've done something a million times before, you come to it as though it's for the very first time. And that can give you a fresh perspective, right? Even when you sit down with your family member, if they're driving you crazy, which I think that all of us will have a little tiny bit of that over the period of time if we're under close quarters, right? If we're all inside with a big family, just sit down as though it's beginner's mind, your first time sitting down with that person. Ah, here I am sitting down with this person. How nice and fresh. Um, so the exercises I'll show you from last week. First off, lotus breath, and that's because so many of our people love it. Okay, so hold your hand up, and we often, in Ontario, we talk about water lilies. Bree was just telling me about a cottage she went to where I bet water lilies were nearby. Water lilies open in the day and close at night. So this is another exercise where we're going to breathe in unison with a movement, okay? The other important thing is I want you to make this yours, okay? You don't have to think, oh, am I doing it right? How's Sue doing it? Make it yours. We have people who kind of move their hands around. Someone in a group was doing it with both hands. Whatever works for you. The point is, you want to be feeling sensations of your breath and just connecting with your breath. And you'll probably notice that while you do these things, you're not worrying about all the other things because you're focused on an object. So it helps wire the brain not to worry, right? So let's try it. So with the lotus breath, opening the hand and breathing in nice and deeply, closing it and breathing out. Now, can you feel sensations in your hand as you do that? So breathing in and breathing out, opening, breathing in, closing and breathing out. And you'll notice that there's a couple of things you can pay attention to. The breath, that lovely, deep, healing breath. You may feel that in the belly rising. And then you might kind of feel that the breath is actually animating the hand or making the hand move. So let's try that 5 times on our own and do it in your own way. I'm just going to add one of our recent participants in our autistic adults group liked saying when she opened the hand, day flower. When she closed it, night flower. That might help you to stay focused. Day flower, night flower. Lovely. And Lee has just added in the chat function. It's kind of cute. She said, when we blow it, I think meaning like when the mind wanders, we can just start again with the next breath. Every breath can be a new beginning to start again. So you may have noticed in doing these few exercises so far that your mind is wandering, right? That's what the mind does. Welcome to the human race. You're normal and human. So each time the mind does wander, we just gently bring it back. So no need to think, oh, I'm screwing up. You're not screwing up. That's what the mind does. The mind is busy thinking about other things. That's what we've been trained to do. So we love it. Great, Maria. I'm so glad. I know lotus breathing is so fun. And do you want to know what else, Maria and everyone? I really like doing this when I'm walking. So when I'm walking somewhere, I just open my hands and close them, not up like this, but just down at my sides. And it just kind of propels me as I'm walking, breathing in, breathing out. Make it yours. You might find another way of making this individual that really connects with you. And Lorinda, I love this concept, lotus breathing for children to relate, especially day flower, night flower. We will have to give the thanks to one of our autistic adults for that saying. It was a member of our last group who came up with day flower, night flower, and everybody loved it so much. So thank you. And it's a very concrete, wonderful thing. So while we're having so much fun with these concrete things, I'm going to throw another one out. Hand breathing. So hold your hand up, okay? Just your hand. And I want to take your other hand and put your finger down at the base of your thumb. So what I'm going to do, and what I want you to do, is just trace around, okay? So you're going to go up and down. That's it. You're just going to go up and down in between the fingers, where we're all doing such a good job of washing them clean these days, aren't we? Good. And then we go back, okay? Excellent. So now we're going to make it fun. Now what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in when we go up and breathe out when we go down. Breathing in when we go up, breathing out when we go down. Breathing in, going up, breathing out when you go down. Breathing in, going up, breathing out, going down. Breathing in, going up, breathing out, going down. So I'd like you to do that again. And the neat thing is, once again, you'll find that there's 2 points where you can focus. The physical sensation, which also releases positive endorphins, right? Do you get that little tickly feeling as you're doing that? So that's sending positive endorphins to you also. And if you're breathing in, really allowing the belly to expand out, excellent. You're getting like a 2 for 1, right? So let's try that together. Let's do that. Let's go back and forth twice. Okay, there we go. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. So just make it your own. Hold your hand wherever's comfortable for you. Make it your own and bring all your concentration to the breath or the physical sensations. Breathing up and breathing out. So breathing in, going up, and breathing out, going down. Bringing all your concentration to it. Excellent. And if you could answer in the chat function, what was easier for you to focus on, the sensations or the breath? So the feeling of the breath or the physical sensations? Sensations or breath, or maybe even both? Breath, Benita, yeah. And Kelly, breath, and Scott, breath, yep. Shaula, the sensation, see, yep, both breath and physical sensations. Cody, yep. Yep. And Sharon both also. Yeah. Yep. And Lorinda breath. Yeah. It's really interesting. And you can go back and forth with it. but it shows you that there's a few different things we can focus on. Like Yona said, some of us are going to like some things, some of us are going to like others. So we just want to give it a few options here. So I'd like to do a very brief movement practice before we do our deep relaxation ocean breathing, okay? The movement practice I want to show you is actually from something called Qi Gong. And sometimes when we do silent meditation retreats, we do these Qigong exercises because it's kind of like movement and meditation. So what I want you to do, and I'll stand back a little bit so you can see a little bit more. What I'd like you to do is you're going to move the hands up and then change them so the palms are up, so palms are facing up. And I want you to breathe out, pulling the air down. So you're going to pull the air down. And then when you get down, then I want you to scoop it back up and breathe in. And then you're going to move the hands so it's almost like the sun breaks through, and then pulling the air down, breathing out. And then scooping it up, breathing in. And again, parting the skies and then breathing out. So try that for a few times. So we're just going to be doing that circle breathing. So excellent. Breathing out when the hands come down, breathing in. And you can make a big circle in front of you. You can't see my whole body, but you can make a big circle in front of you, okay? Excellent. Just get into it, whatever's comfortable for you, just moving the arms around, breathing in, moving up, and then the skies part, and then breathing out, pulling that air down. So let's do 5 more breaths like that, making it your own. Excellent, excellent, excellent work. Great. And really, the point of these movement exercises is to show you that mindfulness is not only something that we do sitting still, it's something that we bring into our lives with us. We can do mindful walking, and next week we'll do a little bit of mindful walking to show you that also. But it's not just something that we have to sit still for, okay? And I think it's really important that people know that. Like Yona was saying, drinking water, taking care of yourself the way you eat, right? Mindfulness really can be a whole life practice. Okay, so we want to leave time. Bree, do we have a couple of questions coming in? And by the way, not yet. I was going to say, if you have any questions, send them off to Bree. And we'll make sure that we do have time. Yeah, go ahead, Yona.
I was just going to say what I ended up doing with the last exercise too, I found is that I had almost like a cup in my hand. So I kind of felt like I was carrying someone, like one of my family members who needs support right now. Like I was kind of gently, I'm helping that person out and kind of lifting them, you know. And then I sort of watched where it was going, and then I just felt like I was kind of spreading, you know, my strength and my energy and just giving it out a little bit to the world, and just also taking a breath. You know, it just felt so, like, I don't do this a lot. I'm very tense, but it felt really good, right? And then I came back to this idea of kind of helping, because we all, I think, need to hold space for other people and to help people right now. And sometimes we need to be held, but sometimes other people do. So I liked kind of picturing who needed that the most, even if it was me who needed it, you know? Touching and giving it away. So I found it was actually, I like that exercise even more today than just a little hand one, because it really helped me sort of pay attention to my whole body and also think about compassion, I guess, for other people and for myself when I was doing it. So I don't know if that appeals to anyone, but.
That is so beautiful. Oh, Yona, that's so nice. So I hope everybody heard that. And I also hope everybody heard how, see, Yona took the basic exercise, right? Scooping around, and then brought her own imagination on something that's healing and helpful to her. So I hope all of you are finding ways of doing that, because the more you make it individualized for you, the more you're going to click and really benefit from it. Yona, that's absolutely beautiful. And I love it. And Lee's just mentioning too that just the five senses, right? Five, just staying with things you can see, right? So even right now, there's a classic exercise for helping people just kind of come into the moment. Um, just take a look at things you can see, right? If you can look at five things you can see right now, if you look around the room that you're in, what are five things you can see? Can you name quietly to yourself? Right, so you visual, so you're tuning into the vision there. And then five things you can, or sorry, four things you can feel, because you count down from the five. So four things you can feel. Can you feel your body on your chair right now? Like maybe you can feel your buttocks sitting on the seat. Maybe you can feel the soles of your feet. Maybe you can feel the fabric of your clothing. Direct sensation. Three things you can hear. How about we pause? Can you hear some things? What sounds can you hear right now? Sound is a wonderful anchor, a wonderful thing to focus on. And then one thing you can taste. So Yona just had some yummy looking food there. You know what we sometimes do? There's been people that I've worked with in the past who, when they were tense and really wanted to have something to focus on, they actually carry around throat lozenges and just put that in the mouth. And that's something, if something's bothering them and they're having anxiety, they have a throat lozenge and just put all their concentration on tasting that. So lots of different things we can do. Okay, thanks, Lee, for mentioning that. That's great. And so why don't we do one closing breathing practice? If you want to lie down, if you happen to be, close to a bed or a couch or something, go for it. Or if you'd like to just be seated, you can do that. We will do this practice, I would say probably for about 5 to 8 minutes. Breathe. Doesn't sound like we had a lot of questions today, right? We had one question. Okay, so we'll wait and we'll get to that question. And if anybody else has thoughts or thinks of a question, just shoot it off to Bree, and then she'll bring that out to the group. So let's get ready for one last really lovely ocean breath meditation to help us really relax. Okay. So when we get seated or prepared to do a mindfulness meditation practice, it's not rocket science, but we want to be seated relatively comfortably, but alertly. Okay, so the phrase sitting with dignity is used a lot. And imagine the queen's going to come in or something. We'd sit up and we'd be sitting alertly. And there's a certain intention to pay close and alert attention to ourselves. It's not rocket science, because if we were all slouched over like this, we'd probably get kind of tired and get kind of lazy and our mind would start wandering, right? So that's why we just sit up so that we can really be focused to pay attention. So just come into that position now. So, but you don't want to be stiff and uncomfortable. Just sitting in a position that you're comfortable. If you're in a chair, it's often advised just to come away from the back of the chair, and that's only so that you can be a little bit more alert because you're using your energy to hold yourself up, right? And the instructions are that the back and the neck and the head be in a straight line. So just straightening up a tiny bit. Hands, it doesn't matter where they are, like just resting on your lap, whatever's comfortable for you. And if you're comfortable to close your eyes, you can do that now. If you choose to have them open, you can just gaze down at one object. And now I'm going to ask you just to bring a hand, if you like, to the belly and one to your chest or to your heart, if you like. And if that's comfortable for you to do, Just imagine that you're caring for somebody. So, in the same way that we might put our hand on a loved one who's hurt or upset, we're just doing that for ourselves, caring for ourselves right now. It's also a great concrete way to really focus on the sensations of the breath. So let's do a few nice deep breaths in. And just as before we were doing the square and the triangle, let's now do a nice deep breath in where the belly expands all the way out. Hold the breath for a moment and exhale through the mouth, just really engaging the breath. Let's do that for 3 breaths, nice and deep. Now let's just allow the breath to move to its natural rhythm, just like an ocean tide. And you can just feel the breath almost like a wave of healing that goes through the body. So breathing in, feel the whole body expanding. And breathing out, feel the whole body relaxing back down. The body connects with gravity or gets heavier when you breathe out. And see if each in-breath you can come a little bit more in contact with yourself, physically and emotionally and mentally, just tuning in with yourself even more every in-breath. A sense of healing and a sense of light. And then every out-breath, give yourself full permission to fully relax. So the very breath itself is just like pure compassion. Breathing in, tending to ourselves in whatever way clicks for you. Some people like to imagine they're breathing in a healing light. Some people like just staying with the sensations of the ocean tide, breathing in, breathing out. Now let's breathe in and imagine we can breathe that healing breath to the toes and the feet. Just being aware of our toes and our feet with the breath, and then just releasing and relaxing, letting go. And then breathing in, the breath, sending the breath to the ankles, and then releasing and relaxing. And then let's just bring our awareness with our breath to our lower legs, the calf muscles, the shins, and then releasing and relaxing, letting go. And then that awareness to the knees and the thighs. We're feeling each part of our body as we do this. And then breathing into the lower abdomen, the pelvic region. And then releasing and relaxing and letting go. And then breathing in the whole torso, almost like a healing wave feeling sensations. And then releasing and relaxing and letting go. Now the top of the torso, the shoulders, muscles in both shoulders, right and left, front of the chest and the back. Just aware of this area. And then releasing and relaxing and letting go. And bringing away the arms, the upper arms, the lower arms, and the hands. And releasing and relaxing, letting go. And bring awareness to our necks and our heads. What are sensations like there right now? And releasing and relaxing and letting go. Now just spending the next few moments feeling the entire body. Just breathing itself. And if there's any part of the body where you feel sensations, maybe a little bit of tension here, maybe areas where you have some emotion, just imagining you can bring that healing breath there and relaxing, and it's an opportunity to relax even more deeply. And just gathering our breath once again, breathing out the breath in the belly, or you may feel the breath in the nostrils, air passing back and forth. And just remembering you can bring your attention back to the breath anytime. And as Lee said, the breath is that constant opportunity to start again. Every breath, we can start again. And then when you're ready, you can give yourself a little bit of a stretch. You can move the fingers around, stretch the arms, stretch the body in whatever way feels good for you. Ah, wonderful. Great. Well, there's a little bit of relaxation. Hopefully that helps people feel a little bit calmer during this time. And thank you everyone for participating. Maybe if you feel like it, just type in one word or a couple words on how you're feeling after doing that. And then I'm going to turn it over to Bree and Yona. Bree may have a question or so there. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. And I'll feel so light, relaxed, rejuvenated. Oh, nice to hear, folks. These are great exercises to do. More relaxed, Cody, great. Yeah, and Scott, relaxed. Yona, solid, yeah. And Floretta, rested. Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
That was amazing, Sue. Thank you. I definitely feel a lot lighter as well. So we have one question from a participant who would like to know, can I try breathing throughout normal activities?
Great question. And that's perfect. So just to understand, so can I try breathing throughout normal activities? That's such a great, great, great question. And kind of like Yona brought up there about the eating and taking care of ourselves. Yes, the answer is yes. So, you know something, the mindful masters or teachers who have taught us these programs, all these techniques and tools come from centuries ago in Buddhist practices, and we've taken all the wonderful elements. Someone called John Kabat-Zinn was the first one who took these elements and turned them into these wonderful, accessible healthcare practices, right? But guess what? The place where they came from, everybody there meditated 24/7. Okay, so yes, all day long. So we invite you, try doing it. And that's kind of what we do in our programs when we have people just focus on, putting the hand cream on, washing your hands when you're brushing your teeth, doing the dishes, walking your dog, being aware of your breath. So um, oh, and I love it, Scott. I love it. Oh, and look, this Lorinda's saying walking, mindfulness walking you practice, great. And Floretta's saying, when I was eating, I really tasted my food and it was so good. That's wonderful. And Scott, wonderful, relaxing music. And that is so important. And in our guided meditations, there's a little bit of music at the beginning and the ending because we hear from a lot of people that they love the music. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Try doing that. Try just when you're out and about, pay attention to your breath because your breath can almost be like an early warning signal for anxiety and stuff, right? Because when you're relaxed, you're going to have that nice deep breath. But if we're a little bit more nervous, our breath is going to be shallow. So if throughout the day, if we just tune in and pay attention to what our breath is like, we can notice, oh, I think I'm just maybe starting those early feelings of maybe feeling a little anxious. And then you know that you can do something calming to help yourself, right? Great question. And Bree and Yona, I see that we've got like 1 minute before 3, so I'm going to turn it over to you guys for closing comments.
Sure. So, if anybody wants links or to be reminded of any other events that we're doing, such as just sending the Mindfulness Monday flyer again to remind you all to register for next week, you can put your email in the chat. And if you'd like to keep that private, you can send that just to myself or the panelists. And we'll make sure we jot that down and we can inform you of upcoming events. And I think we can also share with you Sue's links to her mindfulness soundtracks.
I just want to echo what everyone's been saying. It's been an important hour for me. I have a pretty busy day of work and meetings and discussions and things that have to happen. And I said, I don't want to miss my 2 o'clock mindfulness class. I also need to take a breath, and I think if I wasn't in this class, I might have forgotten. Even though we're breathing all the time, I don't know if I would have really have given myself this time. So I want to thank everyone for allowing me to be with you and pay attention to myself. And I encourage you all to keep breathing over the next week and hopefully come back and see us again. Any feedback that you have on how we can improve this or what else might be helpful to you, please feel free to contact Bree or to email hcard@camh.ca. We'd love to get your feedback and we want to thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yona, for making this happen.
Okay.
And thank you to Lee Steele, too, our parent advisor who's there. We can't see her currently, but Lee's also there, and she's been so important in helping us develop this stuff. So bye, everyone. See you next week.